I remember after taking my very first calligraphy workshop and holding a calligraphy pen in my hand for the first time, I was literally dreaming about it all night that night. Hey, I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and I get asked a lot about how I learned calligraphy. I actually learned it very quickly, and I feel like I was super lucky to have learned it the way that I did with the instructor that I did. So in this video, I'm going to tell you how I learned, how I practiced, and how I think you should learn if you want to go about it the same way that I did. 'Twas the month of November. No, I'm just kidding. But it actually was the month of November, 2015. And I was working at a job that I liked, but it wasn't super creative. And I'd always been crafty. I always made handmade cards and stuff. And so one day my friend sent me a link to an Instagram post she'd seen that she thought I would like. And it was from this woman named Joanne who taught art workshops. And she had an upcoming calligraphy workshop, which for some reason just tickled my fancy. So I begged a couple of friends to come with me. Like I literally begged them. And a few weeks later, I was sitting at Joanne's dining room table with a pointed pen in my hands. And a lot of you are probably hearing this remembering who Joanne is because she's been on this channel with me and we've even written a course together. But yeah, she taught me calligraphy. I remember holding that pointed pen and having the pot of ink in front of me at the workshop and feeling totally overwhelmed because it looked really weird. But Joanne, being the amazing teacher that she is, broke it all down in such a perfect way, and it completely kicked off my calligraphy obsession. So I want to walk you through exactly what we did in that workshop because I think it's valuable. So first, we learned how calligraphy tools work. So whether you're using a pointed pen or a brush pen, the point is that the pen is flexible and it can create those thin and thick lines you see in calligraphy by adding and releasing pressure. So she taught us all about that. That's the foundation. Thin lines and thick lines, pressure and release. Cool? Okay, got it. I understood that part. Next, we actually learned how to set up the tools, which if you want to know more in detail, I actually just did a video all about that and you can go watch that. But this is a step that I would have 1000% screwed up if I didn't have someone directly teaching me. After we set up our tools, we spent the majority of the workshop going through the basic strokes. And I remember this was a part that blew my mind at the beginning. Joanne taught us that modern calligraphy is actually broken up into strokes and they look like this. And actually that once you learn these pieces, they build up your entire alphabet. So you don't actually need nice writing whatsoever, which actually sort of threw me off because I figured I have pretty nice writing when I try and I thought that would give me a leg up, but it didn't. I had no idea that basic strokes were a thing and that this was the case with calligraphy. So we learned those basic strokes for the next 2 hours. And then at the end, she showed us how to take those strokes, stick them together and turn them into an alphabet. And I remember being so glad that she taught us that way because when I went home, I knew exactly what I should be practicing to get better, the basic strokes. And I would not have practiced that way had I not taken the workshop. I would have just started writing words and been frustrated. So I did just that. I practiced the basic strokes over and over and over again, lines and lines and lines of basic strokes. I specifically remember Ryan, we were sitting at the dining room table one night and I just was practicing these weird strokes and he kept on saying when are you gonna do letters? That's not that impressive, Beck. But I just kept doing lines and lines and lines of those so that when I started writing letters and words, they were gonna be pretty freaking good right away because the more consistent your basic strokes are, the more consistent your alphabet will be. And I was just so glad that Joanne drilled that into my head in the beginning because it seriously blew my mind how quickly I got better just because of the basic strokes. And if you've been following me for a long time, you probably know where this is going because this process, learning the basic strokes so well off the bat, is something I felt like the world needed to know. I feel like most people, myself included at the time, were trying to just learn by seeing other people's pretty writing and trying to copy it. I remember specifically doing that. And although maybe you can do that if you copy an exact word, most people are completely missing the basic strokes and that first step that is the foundation you need to know. I had no idea this existed until Joanne taught me, and so I decided that I needed to tell this to the world and I would start teaching it. And I did just that. So I created my free course, Show Me Your Drills, literally just to teach people these basics of calligraphy. It's free. I teach you exactly what I learned up front, what tools you need, how to use them, how exactly to practice to get good at calligraphy quickly. And if that sounds like something you're into, I would love to have you in the course. You can find all of it at showmeyourdrills.com because over the past 5 years, I've been teaching these drills. I've taught over 150,000 students how to do them, and everybody has that mind blown moment that I had from Joanne. I'm gonna link to all of this down below for you, but next I'm also gonna send you to another video that explains all you need to know about Show Me Your Drills. I hope you enjoyed hearing my story, and I'll see you in the next video.